Hello and welcome to the 112 PVC pump rebuild tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be taking apart our 112 PVC pumps, replacing the internals, and putting them back together. For this rebuild, we'll be using kits A and B. In kit A, we have 4 seal rings, grease, 4 117 O-rings, 2 023 O-rings, 2 plunger guides, 2 cartridges, and a plunger. In kit B, we have grease, 4 116 O-rings, and 4 valves. Also for this rebuild, I would recommend using a towel, pliers, grease, a 3/16 hex wrench, a small screwdriver, and a hammer. Okay, so let's take apart our pumps. First, we will turn our pump onto the manifold so that we can get at the 2 bolts that secure the heads of the manifold. So we'll use our 3/16 hex wrench and we'll unscrew those bolts and washers and put those to the side. Once those are out, we can flip our pump back onto the heads and remove the manifold. With the manifold, there should be 4 valves and 4 O-rings. So let's take those off, and you might need that small screwdriver or some pliers. There are also 2 little O-rings. They're near the middle of the manifold, and we'll take those out and put those to the side. We will be reusing these in our rebuild. They don't come with the kits. If you do need replacements for these, you can contact us directly and buy those from us. Now that those valves and O-rings are out of the way, we can get at our heads. So we'll slide our plunger out from each head, and then we will remove our retaining plates. The retainer plates are in there pretty tight, so this is where you need the hammer. I take a bolt and I rest it on the side of the retainer plate, and I just slowly tap it out from the head. And so we'll do that to each side. And then once those are out, we'll just take our internals out. So you don't need to pay attention to how these are placed. We will be replacing these all in order later. There should be, as you see in this diagram here, 4 117 O-rings, 2 023 O-rings, 2 cartridges, 2 plunger guides, and 4 seal rings between the 2 heads. So let's grab the contents from kits A and replace what was in the heads. So first we will get our grease and our 117 O-rings, and we will grease each of those, and we'll put 1 O-ring in each head, and it should fit on the lower ledge inside the seal bore for that head opening there. So 1 goes in one head, 1 goes in the other, and the remaining 2 go on the cartridges. So we'll grease those and we'll place those inside the cartridge. With those in place, we'll grab our 023 O-rings, slightly grease those, put a little dab and then rub our finger around, and put that on the upper ledge of that head opening. With those 6 O-rings in place, we'll grab our seal rings, and you can put a little grease on there, maybe with what's already on your fingers, and we will place those concentric on the 117 O-rings in the heads. You want to make sure that they are centered, otherwise it'll be very difficult to get everything to fit in place. So with those 2 seal rings in place, we'll put our cartridges in, and just kind of push down, make sure there's a good seal in between the seal rings and the O-rings below the cartridge. With those cartridges in place, we'll grab our remaining seal rings and we'll put 1 in each cartridge. And you want those to be centered so that when we put the plunger guide in, everything fits flush with that opening of the head. So with those seal rings, we'll grab our plunger guides, and like I said, we'll put those inside the cartridge and make sure that everything is flush with the opening of the head so we can get our retainer plates on easily. With everything inside the head, we will make sure everything is pressed down and put our retainer plates in. There's a rounder edge, a smoother finish, and a rounder edge side of the retainer plate. We like to put that into the pump so the rougher finish is facing out. So we'll put our retainer plates in, and we'll put our heads down with the valve pockets facing us, and then put our plunger in. It will have the slot facing away from us. If the valve pockets are facing us, we'll have the slot facing away from us, so that when we put our manifold on and our cam motor, that slot will reach the cam. Now let's grab our manifolds. We will put our valves onto the heads, and your X's are going to be facing out, and that'll be our outlet. So our X's will be on the top, 1 on each head, and our O's will be on the bottom, 1 on each head. So X, X, O, O. With those 4 valves in place, we will put our O-rings around them. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. We will put the 2 small O-rings, the O10 O-rings, on the manifold. These are the 2 O-rings that were already with your pump. Again, if you need replacements, please contact us directly. And then we'll grab our manifold, make sure that our O-rings are in place on the manifold. If you need a little bit of grease to keep those in place, that is quite all right. And we'll flip our manifold so that our outlets are on the top and those line up with the valves. If you have a regulator, that regulator will also be on the top of the pump. Not every 112 PVC pump has a regulator. We won't be dealing with that in this video. With our outlets positioned correctly and the manifold on the heads, we will flip the pump onto the manifolds, make sure our heads are appropriately distanced so that they have a good seal on the manifolds, and our bolt holes line up, and we will screw our bolts into the pump. And you don't want to over torque these bolts. You do want to make sure they're about finger tight, and later when you put your pump onto your motor, then you can tighten them a little bit more. Just to double check, if you can see inside, the X's should be facing you when you look through that outlet port. This has been the 112 PVC pump rebuild tutorial. If you have any other questions, please visit our other videos, visit our website, or give us a call here at Pumptec. Thank you and have a great day.